As soon as it hits the live, then we're going to begin.
Okay.
No, as soon as I start recording, I mean. And come on now, don't freeze on me. Don't do that. Boom. And now hitting record to this computer. And we are recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final episode of Kareem Talks for season 1. I'm your host, Kareem, and it's been a hell of a month.
Yeah.
It's been quite the month with a lot of things. But we're not here for all that. We're here to get this episode on the road. And it wouldn't be right if I didn't end the first season of the show without, having a very special guest. And what better guest than my soon-to-be wife, currently fiance. Yeah, you can flash the ring all in the screen if you want, Yeah, all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kareem Talks podcast, Sister Sabbath Muhammad.
Thank you for having me. In 2 ways.
Jokes. There's gonna be a lot of those this evening. How are you?
I'm well. Praise be to Allah. I'm here. I'm tired. And how about you?
Oh, tired.
Mm-hmm.
So many different things.
More mentally drained than anything.
Yeah, it ain't, guys. For those of you stepping into the relationship world and the marriage world, this shit ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. It is not easy.
But not
worth
easy.
it. It's worth it, but it's definitely not easy. And in this episode, without going into detail, because that's our business. We're just going to give tips. No, not tips. Or pro tips, I guess. Tips. And just talk about some of the things that we had to endure from when I originally expressed interest all the way leading up to our eventual marriage.
Up to now.
Yeah. So let's start light. Let's talk about how we became friends first. And I'm just going to leave that. He's going to open the floor to you because, you remember it vividly.
And of course, correct any detail in between. But how we became friends. Wow. Well, this was okay. He didn't know this. He didn't know this at all. But we became friends. He knows this now. But anyway, we became friends on Facebook originally. And the reasoning behind that friend request was simply because, so I joined Facebook, not by my own doing. So actually, I thank my cousin Nate, because without cousin Nate, I would not even be engaged to Kareem. So anyway, because I was
Shout out to cousin Nate.
Because I was not going actually to even join Facebook. So he was like, no, you need a Facebook. He was over here for the summer and help me make a Facebook and all that. And then look, okay, who do you know? And so all these mutual friends just start popping up. And then there was this guy right here. And I was like, oh, I'm friending him. He's cute.
That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
I made nothing up when I said that. When I say that, people think I'm kidding. No,
No,
I was
yeah, I
not.
literally, yep, sent you a friend request because I like the way you looked.
I have aesthetics. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due.
Praise be to Allah.
Um,
Praise be to
and
Allah.
of
So
course,
yeah,
those who know me, I'm just all over social media. I'm just you couldn't you if you didn't meet me on social media, you met me you met me via by association with someone else.
yeah,
But the majority of people who know me,
yeah.
uh,
Major
plastered all over social media at this point. So
plastered is a
I'm
good
not hard
word.
to find, huh?
I said plastered is a good word. Spray painted is another good word because we kind of got stopped at Savior's Day every few seconds. But that's another story. Um, not by my doing. They don't want to see me.
Felt a bit
It's
shady,
like
Matt, but I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore
it's
all of
like
that.
being with a celebrity. It's like, oh my god, like, can we walk? Your mom said it best. I'm telling you this now on the show. Your mom said it best. She's like, yeah, it's like you're with a with the regional captain or something, or she said you are Karen
On
Farrakhan.
that, I just disagree. Strongly disagree.
I'm just saying.
Strongly.
I mean, you can disagree, but we're at show and we were stopped constantly for almost an hour. But anyway,
Um, and of course, we've all had our before we even got together. Um, we had our own little relationships.
yeah,
Um, none of them of which, obviously, because we're here today, clearly those were not meant. And we got lessons.
yeah,
We
yes,
received many lessons
very much so.
from all of them. Um,
Mm.
knowing your worth, not settling,
Oh,
and their camera's gone. And
oops, sorry. Yeah.
um, knowing your worth, not settling, um, working for what you really want,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and why the courtship process is so important.
Very.
All of that.
Mm-hmm.
Without going into details, could you like talk about some of your experiences in learning these lessons?
Um, one, yeah, like you said, and I haven't been through a lot of them, but the few relationships that I was a part of, um, before this one, two in particular, um, well, only two. I'm not gonna say in particular it was only two relationships, but one of which, as you said, taught me what not to look for, you know, taught me in terms of myself, who I am in terms of value. And so, it was a lot because that one in the detail.
Without going into
you
detail,
know,
because that's our business.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
our business. Don't ask any questions.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. The first one definitely. I'll just stick on what it taught me. I don't want to go into
Of
what
course.
happened because that person may be watching the episode at a later time. Who knows? But
And if they are
anyway,
watching the episode, thank you. She's mine now. Thank you. She's mine. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it. Thank you. Just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
But yeah, that taught me not to, one, notice the signs, notice, regardless of what they were, because that was basically, I got into a relationship with that person based upon what they were before their setbacks, before something traumatic happened, and I hung on to what they were instead of noticing, okay, yeah, they may have been
But they aren't.
top, Muslim, whatnot, but they're not now. And so for me to get into a relationship with that person while ignoring the signs damaged me. Yeah, it damaged me a lot. And then two, court, please court, because I was trying to tell myself, and my friends know this story best, but I was trying to tell myself, okay, I'm gonna have a righteous boyfriend, which
Righteous
is
boyfriend.
it's
Righteous
so
girlfriend.
right. It's so oxymoronic. You cannot. That's no. And so I tried to tell myself, I was like, okay, I know I'm not supposed to have boyfriends, but I'm gonna have a righteous boyfriend. We're gonna see how that worked out. And needless to say, it didn't. That did not work out, because here you are, boyfriend and girlfriend, trying to hold one another to the standard of righteousness. So what is that? I'm trying to tell him, okay, no, you can't hold me or hug me, touch my hand, all this good stuff, and then when it comes to what boyfriend and girlfriends do, which is premarital
Thing you
sex,
just said.
we're adults here. It's like, mm, yeah, I want to be a boyfriend, I want to be your girlfriend, but no, and then
It's
that's
like
where friction came. Yeah,
just
it's
like
not.
what it like you want it but you don't want it. What is it? It
What
leaves
do you do?
it leaves room for confusion.
Exactly. So, and that's where I messed up, because I should, well, it's messing up, but I was young. I didn't know my value enough to wait for Allah to give me what was for me. You
Mm.
know, not enough. But through that, Allah allowed me to go through that. One, to help others, other females, other sisters. Don't do that. Don't make the mistake. And two, for me to learn my value. Also, what not to look for. So through that relationship, I learned a lot. He has to have this. He has to do that. He has to treat me a certain way. You know. Um, so there was that. Second relationship, I knew that the person that I was to be with. So I gained value within myself within the second relationship. I learned that, okay, you know, how they're not supposed to be in a certain way. And I learned that I just didn't want any old Muslim. But at the same time, with them loving Islam within the second relationship, that what was tested was the level of love for Islam. That's what was tested. So with that, it was more intentions to court. So basically a pre-courtship. Wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend. We don't want to claim that, but it was still pre-courtship. So it technically was boyfriend, girlfriend, but we just didn't want to claim, we didn't want to say it like that. So, we called it our pre-courting, intentions to court and whatnot, which was still not okay. So that taught me what not to do as well. Because we've gotten in this relationship, we knew that we were going to court. But anyway, so the second relationship, that person did well, let me again not speak on that person, but it taught me to find somebody that prayed, at the very least, that went to Allah, you know, um,
Not being
that
solely
relied on,
dependent on people.
exactly,
Mm.
that, you had to have that base, because if you don't rely on Allah and I'm relying on Allah, but when it's time for me to seek counsel in you as my maintainer, what is that counsel going to look like? you know.
What's
So
good?
yeah, so that's one thing that I learned within that relationship. So after that, after relationship number 2, my friends can tell you best, the 7 rings or whatnot. I went on a hiatus from nails. Like, I ain't answer no DMs. I didn't even look at them. I went on a fast. That's what I told myself. I went on a fast. And that lasted for some years. Ooh, that lasted for some years. And then it wasn't up until the point. Well, that's I'm jumping into your questions, but yeah. So that's what those last relationships, those last 2 relationships, taught me as an individual.
And of course, those are very important. And I
Yeah.
learned similar things along with not settling, and that one's really important. Also, picking up red flags, especially when other people notice it and you don't.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, those people may be right. And that was my very, very first 2 relationships.
Mm.
The very first 2. And not noticing the signs, the one thing I kept saying was, oh, they're going to change. They're going to get better. No, no. And also it shows why the courtship process is so important, because you're seeing whether or not this person is compatible with you or not.
Right. Exactly.
And if they have, if not 100%, at least 80 to 90% of the things that you're looking for, and vice
Right.
versa with them. And then
Right.
things you can work out, you work them out.
Work it out. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but and finding value in myself and not settling for any old thing, it was something I had to learn, because I didn't have that value in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I kept falling for the okey doke,
Yeah.
and I was essentially a doormat. I
Mm-hmm.
let people get away with a lot of things. I let things slide, and I ended up being hurt in the long run.
Right.
I learned a lot, and it's funny because when it came around the time, I thought about Sabbath. I was weaning myself away from other things, because another thing that is a big factor is your environment.
Yes.
And if you stay in an environment for too long, you start doing things that are against um, your nature, which is
Mm-hmm.
righteousness.
Right.
And once I knew Sabbath was it, Sabbath was the one, I really started detaching myself from the environment. There were days where I was in one place, but my mind was elsewhere. That's how detached I became.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I lost some friends, we can call it, because of that. But then
Mm-hmm.
there are others who understood, and they know at that point I was growing, I was evolving into something better, and I'm still evolving. Praise be to
Yes.
Allah. Never Sabbath can tell this story. I want you all to hear it from her, because if you hear it from me, you may think I'm making things up as I'm going along. So Sabbath can tell you how the whole interest between her and I started. I'll let
Oh,
you take care of
Lord. Okay, well, really, really, really cute story. So we were at the training retreat. I always mess up the years. 2018, right? Yeah, 2018.
that. Mm-hmm.
Training retreat 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at his birthday dinner. It was his birthday weekend
Mm-hmm.
at California Pizza Kitchen.
California
Um,
Kitchen, great restaurant.
Great
Shame.
restaurant, kind of, sorta.
I mean,
White people can't
they
see
messed
me.
up her order, but
He
I ate
was
like a
fine.
king.
He ate. Um, yeah. But anyway, so we were at California Pizza Kitchen, and the brothers were sitting on one side of the table for the most part. Sisters on the other side, with the exception of what there had to be that one brother that sat next to a sister and that one sister that sat next to a brother. But I was on the end originally. I was like the head of the table on one end, and and the brothers were making a whole lot of noise. Shout out to the cheeseheads. Actually,
Those
that's
of you
not
who
shout
don't
out.
know, the cheeseheads are Jabril, Yaish, and Yasin. That's what I
Yes.
call them.
Shout
That's
out.
the
That's what we
name.
call.
So they inadvertently. I hope I pronounced that right. Inadvertently. Hope I pronounced that right. Contributed in their own little way.
Exactly.
And at the
So,
same time, they will not receive credit. So,
so we playing in the love plans.
I'll plan that whole thing.
So yeah, they were making a whole lot of noise, and Anissa, who was out of the group, the more so introverted, doesn't like all that, type of stuff, and she was sitting right next to Kareem, and she was closer to the males and the brothers, and so I saw her uncomfortability. And I asked her, I said, did you want to switch? And she was like, yeah. So she got to be with at the end of the table, and I didn't mind it, not that I didn't mind it, but it didn't bother me like that. So I sat next to Kareem, and so we began to talk and we began to catch up. It's funny because he called me the week before. I didn't even know he was going to be at the training, but he
I
called
did.
me
I didn't
before.
even know she was going to be at the training. We were
Right.
catching up beforehand, and I was going through some
Exactly.
things at the time. And
Right.
Sabbath, with her sage wisdom, provided some
So,
needed counsel. Praise
praise
be
be
to
to
Allah.
Allah.
But
So yeah,
go
so we
ahead.
caught up at the table, and okay, so fast forward a little bit. We've all eaten and whatnot, and it's time to go back to the resort.
With the exception of
Everybody's
her,
been the
because they ruined
yeah.
that order, and you didn't eat at Red Robin's, I'm assuming.
I didn't eat the Red Robins. Now I wound up eating the pizza, but it's like I just had to pick through it. I ate it because I paid for it, but I didn't. I was not pleased, so I did eat it. I was full, unhappily full, but full.
And
Um,
that's why you don't order vegetarian pizza without inquiring what's on the vegetarian pizza.
yeah, but I did ask. I was so sure I asked. I was like, "What's on this pizza?" And then, no, I think they put mushrooms on it, even though I said no mushrooms. I think that's what happened.
When
But
restaurants do that, you probably shouldn't eat there again.
yeah,
At least with the wife who did not have a good
you know
time.
what?
Because I'd eat there again.
Yeah, this. I don't know why Zoom does this when okay, here we go. I'm back. Good deal.
Techniques.
For the notifications it does that. But anyway, but yeah, so I was full again, unhappily full.
Unhappily.
And and it was time to walk back to the resort, which it wasn't far. And with that, everybody was, when I'm full, everybody that knows me knows that I don't like to rush. I'm taking my time. I don't care. That's when I turn on my I don't care. Me taking my time. And I had my laptop. I was in college at the time. And so everybody was like, okay, Sabbath, we're walking ahead. And Kareem was like, with her. And so he actually carried my laptop bag as we were walking back. And so I knew that there was just an inkling, like just a thought of interest when he asked me my age. He was like, wait, how old are you again? And I'm like, really? Like, you really
I mean,
asked me?
I honestly did forget though. It'd been so long. I honestly did forget. So it was a mixture of that. More so, I forgot,
Mm-hmm.
but the inkling was there. But it was more so
Yeah.
I forgot. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
clarify that. Just want to
But
clarify that. It wasn't instantly,
I
oh
really
my God, I have to know her age or her there. No.
Anybody said it was that. I just pre-saw. So I knew, and I was correct. First of all, obviously,
By Allah's permission.
by Allah's permission. Yes.
There we go.
Allah.
There we go. You. Allah knew and told you.
This always. He gave me my mind.
Please continue.
So yeah, so there was that, and basically that's how the interest started. Oh no, let me fast forward. So after trick or treat, this is when we got officially into our relationship. I posted a selfie on Instagram, and he replied with a little heart eye, emojis. And that's when I knew, I was starting to tell. I even told the girls, I was like, I think Curry likes it a little bit. But I wasn't sure up until that day. And then I was just like, you know what? Let's stop playing games. Let me ask him. And so I messaged him.
She didn't even let me get. She didn't even let. You know how you slow burn to everything?
No.
No, she doesn't. But
no.
For those of you watching, you slow burn. You slowly develop the whole. You eventually you perk it up. She just skipped right. She just got right down to the nitty gritty. I was just like, well, there goes that.
Yeah, and I was like, do you like me or something? Like what's up? And he said, yeah. He was like, well, maybe, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So there was that, and that's how not too long after we started courting, he came to my mom. Fellas.
Your mom. Love her to death, though. Love her to death.
Yes.
Dad will never forget that conversation.
Because my dad, he wasn't so. It was right the way he did it. He went to my mom. Because if it were the other way around, we probably wouldn't be engaged. And not out of dislike, but he was like, protective mode,
Daddy's
like,
girl.
No. Exactly.
That's Daddy's girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So
her mom softened him up real nicely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's how that started.
Yeah. It always helps to go to the other family members first. That way, when you get around to the father, and this is a pro tip, guys. If the other members of the family don't like you, you might as well not talk to the father.
You're not going through.
You're not going through. Mm-hmm. When the other members of the family like you, it'll take a minute, but eventually he's going to warm up to you.
Yeah.
Because the other family members already like you.
Mm-hmm.
Just a pro tip.
It's that. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I'll never forget that conversation. What would you do if I punched you in the face? I'm paraphrasing. Like, hypothetically, if you did something to my daughter or said something to my daughter that got her upset, and she told me, and I came to your house and I punched you, just started fighting you, I was just like, what?
Yeah, my mom's a wild card.
I was just like, I'm taking the walk. Take the walk. Because anything else is wrong. Take the walk.
And she was serious as a heart attack. She was she's always hilarious for those who know her. But she was serious because she wanted, I guess she was testing your character. You gonna fight me back, you gonna do.
And I was just like, no, because I know where this goes. I'm not stupid. He said, I'm not gonna. No.
So for her, that was a serious question. What would you do if I punched you in the face?
Like, I'm taking the walk. I'm gonna be salty. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be very salty, but I'm taking the walk. Why? Because as upset as I'll be, at least I won't be going to prison or having a bunch of Stacey Adams being imprinted onto my body.
Right.
Because all it takes is one fatal mistake. All of a sudden, do. FOI, open up. Nope.
Right. Yeah.
That I'm not built like that anyway. Just
Hmm.
that's not in my character to do.
Yeah.
In all seriousness. But
Yeah.
yeah, take the walk.
Yeah.
Rise above emotions and take the walk.
Yeah. That's it.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you answered correctly.
That whole conversation was just like, my God. Oh, oh boy. And then, courting was a whole process in and of itself, and staying in
Yeah.
contact, striving our best to do it as right as possible.
Yes.
And then, dealing with our own impediments with one another. Our own impediments were coming out, just talking
Yeah.
to one another.
Yeah.
Um, and we had to learn how to deal with those things within ourselves, with
Hmm.
one another. And
Yes.
an important thing that she and I are going to do,
Hmm.
um, auditing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, auditing is a branch of Dianetics. We don't
Hmm.
study Dianetics, but auditing. No, no, no. My
We
fault.
well
We
the
don't study
benefit.
Scientology.
Yeah,
We do
Scientology.
study Dianetics.
Yes. This.
Correct myself. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Um, and Dianetics is the study of mental health.
Hmm.
And what we don't want is those impediments that we carry going into the marriage, and then ultimately it leading to a divorce. That's what
Yeah.
we don't want.
Yeah.
And we do plan on doing that, but a lot of those inner demons that we had to deal with came out during our courtship, and are still coming out even within our engagement, because
Yeah.
we had to learn a lot about each other and ourselves.
Hmm.
And an important thing was being an anchor to one another,
Yeah.
not in just Islam, but just in our relationship in general.
Hmm.
Like, we pick this person, we have to deal with the ins and outs. And if you're
Yeah.
not willing to deal, why are you getting married?
Exactly.
Why are you courting?
Exactly.
So,
You should know
mhm.
that it's not easy, and that you have to take on that person's good and bad. And the thing about it is, the minister said it so beautifully in How to Mend a Broken Heart. We were listening to that a few nights ago, but we lie to ourselves, you know? We say we want to get married. We say we're in love with that person, but what is love? Love, when you really get into a relationship and you really get to learn that sentence, love is duty firsthand, because it's like, okay, love is not a fluttery feeling.
It's
I'm
not.
gonna be with you. I gotta be with you through the good and the bad. That's
And
how
the
you
ugly.
and the ugly. That's how your love is tested. So he was like, we lied to one another, saying that we love. I love this person. I love that person. So with that, to be able, one, I knew when we courted, I knew when I saw certain things, I knew, okay, I had to be real with myself. Sabbath, those things that you do see, because beautiful person. I said this is his day and he knows this. He's just such a beautiful man. Praise be to
Praise.
Allah. So those things that, I did see, I had to be real with myself. Sabbath, is this something that you can deal with as a potential and future wife? And I said, yes, but there's going to be something. Will you be able to deal with it? So as Karim said, the number is normally 75 to 80% of what you can deal with, of that person that is
80 to
compatible.
90. 80 to 90. Well, we'll say 75 to 90.
Yeah, 70, yeah, 75 to 90. I remember, I think I got 75 from Brother Nori. That's probably where I got 75 from. But yeah, if the majority you can deal with, just know that there's going to be something, but that's how your love, your resilience is tested through those, through thick and thin, through rain and sunshine. Are you still going to be here? So, yeah.
Mm. Major, major, major key. You have to know. You have to know what you're willing to deal with, and you also have to know what the deal breakers are.
Yeah.
You have to you have
Yes.
to lay those down first, actually.
Yeah.
That way
Facts.
you know that if they do have that deal breaker, just know. May
Yeah.
Allah bless you with the light of understanding.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Um, and also another thing that both Sabbath and I most recently learned, other people's opinions, as well intended as they may be, or not well intended at all. It's our
Mm-mm.
decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's our decision at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for us
Yes.
because
Everybody's different. You know,
everyone is different,
no relationship is the same. Mm-hmm.
and we have to get out of the habit of comparing one relationship to another,
To
one
another.
engagement to another, one marriage to another.
That's it.
We don't know. We
Exactly.
don't know. We're on the out. Where everyone's on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And this also goes for those who, they're saying, hey, you should probably do this for your wedding. You should invite this many people. You should do it like this. You all should have this. It gets very irritating.
Mm-hmm.
It gets very irritating.
Tiring,
Words of my
draining.
mom, if anyone does have an opinion, you should invite them to pay.
Aha.
Pay for that suggestion.
That's that. That's that. Hmm. Yep.
Do you have such and such
Money.
funds for this monies, dinero,
Right.
guap?
No, no, no. Sure, that would be a lovely wedding gift.
That would be a lovely way. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom in the background of the show,
Featuring.
featuring my mom. Kareem Talks featuring my mom in the background of the show, giving wonderful suggestions. That'll be a lovely wedding gift. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
That's right.
Wedding gift.
Absolutely.
Stop right there.
Right.
Yeah. And you have to know where to draw the line
Right.
with some people's opinion, because like I said, there are people who are good natured, who want the best for you, but you have to draw that line,
Yeah.
because you accept that one opinion, all of a sudden, they're in control of the entire wedding, and you're just like,
Yep.
oh yeah.
Yep.
And taking that into consideration, it saved us from a lot of future issues.
Yeah.
It saved us from a lot of future issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we still love those people. We love those people regardless.
Dearly.
But it's just like, yeah, no.
Exactly.
Love you. No.
That's right.
And just, if you can go, you talk about it from your side in dealing with people's opinions and ideas and suggestions and attempted firm resolutions. See what I did there?
Ooh. I would it was a lot. It was a lot of people's input in terms of, how we should do this, how we should do that, down to living conditions, and people wanting, like you said, the best for us, but it's trying to press the ideal on the couple so much so, to the point judgment may come if that couple does not do this, that, and the other. One thing for me, and I've never really had a problem with this, but it's been so prominent, within having a relationship. I as much as possible, even though it's still slept through, as much as possible, because there was a lot. Uncles, aunties, but mosque believers and whatnot. Um, you know, um, as much as possible, the important thing is to take in one ear and one out the other. That's basically what I'm saying. Whatever
For
is
example,
needed.
hey, you should totally change your name.
Yeah, no, yeah. Some people wanted me to change my name to Karima. I like Sabbath. Thank you. That's not necessary.
We want individuality in this household. If that was the case, I would have to name all my daughters Karima, the Karima the first, the second, the third. Kareem Jr.
Exactly. They want, good intention. They was like, cause we want to see unison and all that. So go ahead and change your name, but allow for my name to be what it is.
You want individuality.
There's a whole spiritual meaning behind the name Sabbath. And I'm kind of the only one that has that. So I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, so just knowing what to take in. Sometimes you can take a guidance that is needed for you, but you have to weigh it on the balance of justice. Is this needed for me? If it pertains to my decision, then I'm going to take it. If not, then thanks, but all praise due to Allah, no thank you. In one ear right out the other. You have to be able to weigh what comes at you, just and by actually what you actually have. Because someone's trying to tell you, okay, you need to purchase a cow so you can have milk readily, but you don't have a farm.
Don't have a farm. Where we gonna put the cow? In the living room? Right. Where's the cow gonna graze? Right. In the parking lot?
Right. No. So judge it by what your relationship actually is, and weigh it like that. But yeah.
And knowing each other's merits. One thing you don't want to carry, and this is why auditing is important. Mm-hmm. One thing you don't want to carry is bitter memories of past relationships. And then when you see something similar,
that's so unprofessional. Go ahead.
You gotta get a phone stand. Got to. Judging.
Don't judge me, first of all.
She wouldn't take it even if I gave it to her.
That's not true. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want you to buy it. That's I wouldn't want you to buy it.
Don't waste money. I'm gonna be like, I got her 12. She hasn't used any.
That's not true. You
send her the money to get the one that she wants.
See, that. I don't like spending money.
And I get it and be the wrong one.
Okay, continue. What's your thought? We're off topic.
But you don't want to carry bitter memories from the past relationship into this one. You have to judge that person based on their own individual merit, and they have to do that for you as well. Which is why auditing is important
to a degree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we both did, and it's easy to an extent because just the tiniest thing. Like I was telling actually another friend this, the tiniest thing that this person have does, but they are not the same person that that was of yesterday. Mm-hmm. So they may do something that's in the 1% racket of what that person did, and they're 100% them. They do something. Your now person does 1% of what the 100% person does, and now you have a chain reaction. Mm-hmm. But you have to remind yourself that what that person did is just 1%. They are still 99% their own person, and that other person was 100% their own person. So sometimes auditing is definitely important. And another thing that's important that Kareem has got me to do more is opening up. Because certain things would happen.
And it's something I'm working on myself. So
certain things would happen, and within myself because, you know, I don't know, I in terms of me, I never grew up talking about myself. I bottled a lot up. You know, I always wanted to present the good so people could have, you know, an example, you know. However, just certain things, you know, I wanted to bottle up. You know, it was not easy for me to expound. No, this is, you know, within my own mind. This is bad. Sabbath does not like this. You know, I bottled it up. You know, I wouldn't let the other person know. So within our relationship, certain things that 1% would happen, and it set trigger reactions, and he knew something was wrong. I wouldn't say anything. I would stay silent. Normally, when I'm really, really, really angry, I just really stay silent. Um, but he knew something was wrong. And he slowly but surely and gradually began to pull these instances out. And he would tell me, Sabs, I can't know until you tell me. You know, I don't know what not to do until you tell me this happened. You know, this is what you should, you know, not do. And now it's still hard, and he knows it's still hard, but it's easier than what it was because now I can open up a little bit more. Will this hurt me? Versus in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of a relationship, no, those words wouldn't come out my mouth at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, he had to tell. You know, he had to see something was wrong. Um, so yeah, there's that. But we both experienced that. We had to judge one another for who we are in the present, and that who we are is not our past, not our past relationships.
Facts.
Mhm.
As I'm so sorry, I'm out of it, but they're making food here, and we're both
We're
fasting, and
fasting.
I'm
We're
currently
fasting.
suffering
Yeah.
right now because I smell toast.
Those
In the words
senses
of
be
Pooh Bear,
strong,
it's
boy.
a rumbly in my tumbly.
You smell the butter too.
The butter, in the burntness of the toast, everything, the
Dimensions.
remnants in the oven, everything. It's tough out here. Um, but you know, and going through the trials of the relationship, we've also had our fun.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
what would you say was your favorite memory of this whole experience?
Oh, I have a couple. Um,
Top three, since you
top
said
three.
couple.
Yeah.
Top three.
Top three. Okay, learning one was definitely learning that um that whole conversation that night, and I know you remember that night, but basically the peak of the conversation when we was really just learning our likes, you know, and we found out
I
that
know
we
where
both
this is going. I know where this is going.
okay, one, let me lead up to the conversation. The conversation was just great. I remember where I was. I was in my mom's walk-in closet when we were talking.
And
And
I
I
was
was
at
like
work.
upside
I was at
down.
work when this was happening.
I was upside down. I remember, but I was just like, you know, I was laying on my back, feet up, and I was just in awe and mesmerization. I was in bliss. Okay. But we were talking about our likes and dislikes, and we went over all the books we read, like every single book almost. You know, genres that we've liked, you know, books we've critiqued, and that's just amazing to know that my soon-to-be husband is, you know, a book lover like I am. That's just that gave me tingles. So there was that. We went over movies, and then we went over childhood shows, and it was great because there's
By
not a
the
lot.
way, when regarding the movie piece, you know, just something we have to learn how to make compromises because I had to learn that. Apparently, um, well, I'm not gonna go into it, but her rating of Cats the musical, I don't find it to be accurate in comparison to her rating of Cats the movie. But please continue.
But you love me anyway, and that's what
Uh-huh.
matters. So anyway.
Love is sacrifice.
Love is duty.
As I see the Cats movie come in the house.
Love is duty.
So we're doing this today.
It's not. Oh my God! First of all, it's not coming into the house. I dislike the movie. We're not gonna keep going through this. I dislike.
You know, you dislike what they did with Jennifer Hudson. You did like the dance scene.
No, I said that the movie was
I remember the exact words you said. We were on the live. I remember what you said. You gave it pros. You gave it pros. Yes, I remember that.
The cons, it was more than one con. I did not like how how slow the movie was. I didn't like that. I said that. There were a couple of cons. You just stuck on a one and then said I love the movie. We're not gonna keep going through this. We're not gonna keep going through it.
I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I'm gonna keep bringing it up.
Don't be lying on me.
Until we old soul. I am not. You said the movie had pros.
Yeah, it did.
And that the musical had cons. I was just like,
yeah, that's everything. You know what? I'm not supposed to weigh things in the balance of justice.
What you did to the Cats musical is not justice. Then again, of course, it's our own opinion. It's a wrong.
My own opinion.
It's a wrong opinion.
No, I got a skit to send you after this. It's so funny. You're gonna die of laughter. I got a skit that matches from Saturday Night Live. You go, oh Allah. But anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about you're about to go on the VeggieTales. You were about to go on the VeggieTales. That's where we're going. But I had to cut you off with the whole movie bit. I had to cut you off with the whole movie bit because we're going to address this elephant in the room right now.
You make me sick. Oh my
God. Wait. What's that thing you told me though? But you love me anyway. So. You can play at that game.
Anyway, but yeah, we found out, and we're one of very few because VeggieTales. It's not as popular as it should have been. I don't know a lot of my peers that just sat there and watched VeggieTales, and not just one episode, like everything from beginning to end. So we found out, it was like, what? You watch VeggieTales too? And we sung the song.
We sung the entire song together. We sung that song. We sung, and so what we have learned applies to our lives today. God has a lot to say in
this book. Yes, the God is bigger.
God's word is for everyone. Now that a song is done, we'll take a look. Yes.
And then the God is bigger than the boogeyman. That was personally my favorite one.
Yes.
That got me through a lot because that was my that song was the basis for lack of polytheism.
And then we started singing silly songs, but left all the silly songs. We sung the hairbrush song.
Yes, the hairbrush.
We sung the hairbrush song. Literally at work, dude is. I didn't even care. Dude is looking at me like, "What the hell is he singing?" And I'm belting out, "Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where is my hairbrush?" So there's that.
And you know what? That also showed, though, even throughout, of course, our differences. We are really equally yoked to a lot. We're equally yoked. So there was that. I love that. We balance each other well.
Why is my alarm going off? Clear. Go ahead.
And I really, I'm so thankful because I wanted somebody that I could be silly with, that I could be myself. I can be my serious self, but at the same time, when it's time to let back, I don't have to.
She can hold post and she can juggle basketballs.
That's it.
I have an actual recording. Word is bond, yo. Was shook. That was our very first courtship date.
That was our first date.
First
I
courtship.
can juggle too. That was my first time actually juggling basketballs because the weight is, you gotta weigh things when you juggle. But
And that was, and this is my favorite thing. Like I've always in past relationships, it's always been digital pictures, But then of course, if things don't work out, you delete those. But when with Sabbath, this is my first time ever doing this. We went inside the little picture booth thing,
Yeah.
and I keep these photos. Let me see if they'll even come on camera. Like get all like can you see it?
Yeah.
Well, you can see it, but it's kind of like bright. Trying to like get the zoom and all that good stuff. Try to get focus on this. But I keep these pictures in my wallet. So every time I open it, a reminder. Every single time. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that was so that whole conversation was top one. Let's see, next two. Ooh.
I feel like the proposal is gonna be number one.
Yeah, definitely.
Proposal definitely number one. That's without question. That is without
Definitely.
question.
I'm trying to pick though between the middle one. I guess I have to say, not I guess, Friendsgiving. That was just a special moment. So okay, every year, for those who don't know, every year, this year it didn't happen, of course, the COVID.
It's the COVID.
But every year we have our alternative Thanksgiving that we call Friendsgiving, and we invite the believers, and close friends. And it's really just a time for us to relax and, socialize and play music. It's not surrounded by Satan's holiday, which is Thanksgiving, but it's, just Friendsgiving, Friendsgiving.
Giving thanks to God for our friends, family,
Exactly.
and all of that.
It was just, so every year we have that. And this year, because I was no longer single, I had a significant other. I got to invite my then courtmate to Friendsgiving. And he got, that was amazing. The whole weekend, had a 3-day weekend. And I'll let you talk more on that. But that was my favorite.
The whole weekend was absolutely amazing from beginning to ending.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who was there. Aaron, Kiyama, even Hashim. A little bit. We played laser tag. I smoked everybody. Everyone.
Where's all praise to Allah?
All praise. See, accountability. By Allah's grace and mercy, I smoked everyone in laser tag. We went out. We watched. What was it? It was Us. We watched Us.
We watched Us, which he had doubts about.
I don't know why I had doubts because I saw Get Out, but I was just like, I wasn't sure, but the movie ended up being good. I didn't think it would be, it wasn't scary, but
it was very entertaining.
It was very interesting, and I got, that swerve at the end. No spoilers. Go watch the movie yourself. And that was nice. I got to cook for them. That was fun. Shopping with Sabbath is quite interesting. It's quite interesting. You have to be very specific. Read the instruction. Check to see if it has this, that, and this. Can she eat this? Can I eat this? Will everyone else be able to enjoy it? Very interesting. I'll never forget picking out cheese and say, "Oh, let me see this." Oh no, we can have it because I was just like, "All right, okay." That was fun.
Bodies are our temples,
And then her introducing me to Piggly Wiggly, and I was just like, "So you're getting on me about all this stuff." We were shopping at Publix when she was making all these critiques of what I was picking out. But you're having us shop at a place called Piggly.
First of all, we went to go get cards, if you remember correctly.
Cards at Piggly Wiggly.
Cards. That's not food.
The fact that we were going into the store alone, a store called Piggly Wiggly. I was just like,
My mom was shook when she first moved here to the South, but we're covered in Piggly Wiggly. Sorry, but she was like, "Oh my God, that's not a store for a Muslim." And now, if we need water,
It's not halal. Not halal at all. Not halal. And then we actually had, the day Friendsgiving. Of course, I had a heart to heart with her dad, and that was good. Um, and the believers came. I got to get to know them. The baby was adorable. Fun fact, and I'm sad we didn't get this recorded. Because I bought my game systems with me because I didn't want to be sitting around doing absolutely nothing, and I had this game set up. Everyone knows, love fighting games and whatnot. I had Street Fighter on, and so little girl about
Sarah, she was 3.
Sarah, she was 3. She was 3.
She was 3. Yeah.
Handed her the controller. Me being me. I had to be. I was the big bag, pretending to be the big bad guy or whatever. It was a nice little moment.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Street Fighter and everything, and she was like, "Mommy, I won!" And I was just like, "Yeah, she got me.
And Auntie Janet, that's Sarah's mom, she saw how good you were with Sarah, and how comfortable she was with you. And she pulled me to the side a little bit and whispered, she was like, "Yes, Sabbibti's the one." Because Sarah doesn't like everybody. Sarah, especially males, naturally so, being a little girl, she didn't like everybody. So when she saw that, and she saw that, just that natural, I don't want to say, I guess I'll say it, dad moment. that natural spirit that you had with Sarah, she was like, "Yeah, he's the one." And she even asked me, she was like, "He's proposing to you tonight, right?"
No. I would originally, that's when I was going to propose, but I didn't want to deprive all of her sister friends who may or may not be watching this of that moment, even though they didn't come downstairs until after I proposed. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that whole weekend was fun. We went to the mosque we were going to go to together. That was great.
Yeah,
the whole lecture was great.
Uncle Desmond, shout out to Uncle Desmond, who shouted
us out during the lecture. That was fun. Looking forward to going to the new mosque, and then
college prep.
we ate out. We had we went to the movies. We saw Joker together, and we had Japanese hibachi. Was it?
No. It's Shoguns. It was called Shoguns.
Shoguns. But it was like, if you've ever been to those restaurants where they're cooking everything live in front of you.
Right in front of you. And then it's like not just regular, like throwing stuff in the air, flames and all that stuff. It was cool. And he was really cool. He was a cool guy. He was funny.
Food was great. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Food that weekend was great.
And had a strawberry daiquiri. I'll never forget. That was just, that was so good. A version.
Specified.
Version strawberry daiquiri.
My drink in the Nation of Islam. And I had such a good time. This was my first ever trip out of my state that wasn't like Nation of Islam related. No Holy Day of Atonement, no Savior's Day, none of that. It was just my first trip I ever had to myself. And I had such a wonderful time. I'll never forget coming from the airport and my mom picking me up. I was just like, I don't want to leave.
Right.
I did not.
Airport, that was the most emotional day. Like the night before, Kiam and I, we were in this room. She spent the night. But she just looked at my face. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." I actually cried because it was like, he has to leave. And we had this just amazing energy, and he was there, physically. And like, now you gotta go.
I was the same way as like literally the moment they had left my dropped me off at the hotel that I was staying at. I was quiet for a long period of time,
Yeah.
and I did not want to leave.
Yeah.
Bawling, I was just like,
Like it's over.
like the whole weekend is over. Just like, can I have a run back? Like,
Right.
didn't I didn't want to leave.
And the
I
airport.
didn't want to leave. The
The
airport was
airport.
just so just leaving. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I remember you told me, you whispered in my ear, and you said, "I promise I'll be back." 3 weeks.
3 weeks in time. No, not three. Well, less than three now. Less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I'll be back and I'll be
Yeah.
moving. Praise be to
Yeah.
Allah.
Please be to
Because I
Allah.
was just like, I have to move now. I absolutely have to move now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another good memory. And of course, number one at the top of the list is
The proposal.
being the proposal.
Yeah.
And I planned to do it on a couple other days, but just the way things were aligning, I'm just like, I'm just gonna wait till after everything is said and done.
Yeah.
That was probably my most nerve wracking Savior's Day ever. That is the only Savior's Day where I've only taken pictures with friends and that's it. Usually I would take pictures with absolutely everyone, but no, this Savior's Day I was only with close friends and Sabbath, and then just proposing. You know, it was like just do it when you just do it when you feel the moment is right.
Yeah.
There's no planning, that kind of thing. Just do it when the moment felt right. The moment felt right, and yeah, praise be to Allah. And here we are.
All the good stuff.
And it's been quite a crazy road. We've had to make so many changes due to COVID-19, but we are finally, we're closing in on that marriage date.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. The entire journey has been humbling. We've learned because there's stages to this. There's stages to this, even in the engagement process.
Yeah. I never thought, for me, Kareem has given me such a security because I've never, I've never cried in front of someone so much. Like, what, you still like me? You sure? Are you positive? Because, it's a roller coaster. But, for someone still to be here, throughout all my insecurities and, all of that, that's
Same.
a blessing.
Same.
That's a blessing. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so we went over time. We went over time just by a little bit. And are there any final statements before we wrap up this final episode of Kareem Talks? Until next year, of course, but
I'm ready.
This
is my final statement. I'm ready.
Word.
And you know what? Let me add something else because it's something that Allah has placed on my heart recently, but I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful literally for everything. He plays chess, and sometimes we question whether a move is being made, but trust me, a move was made, and it was several moves, to line you up in terms of where you need to go. So I'm just grateful. Sometimes you don't see his hand or what he's doing, but now it's just like to know that he sees all, he sees all. Like when I say we have seen a lot
Everything.
physically move stuff within our life, like it's like
Be like, here, let me throw this curveball at you real quick. See how you feel about it.
he sees all. Like y'all trust in Allah and pray. I think that's one thing that has aided us because we pray for the most part almost every morning. He wakes
We
me
make
up.
it up.
But
We
anyway,
make it up. We make it up. Mashallah. Mashallah.
so we pray.
And
I
if she doesn't wake up,
have
I leave her with I
a
leave a
prayer
message saying, prayer. So she'll just listen to that and
yeah.
pray along with that. So
And I think our reliance on Allah, even when it seemed rocky, or it seems like, okay, Allah, where you at? We never stop praying, And so that, it says in the Holy Quran, he answers answers them who praises him, So to see our prayers answered sometimes later, but for you, like with the past example,
well,
almost
he answered that immediately.
like
Next day delivery. Allah was like, here's the answer you were looking for.
So, to be able to have a foundation with Allah. If you don't, then I'm gonna let you know because it's already rocky without it. Not rocky, but it's not easy. It's already not easy without it. So just to not have a foundation with Allah, not just by yourself, but as a couple. Oh my God!
You really have to keep Allah at all times.
Don't do that. So one, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for everything. You don't see it in the midst of, but he will answer your questions. He'll answer why he's doing certain things. Moving certain pieces, and whether we see it or not, it is for the betterment of us. At the end of the day, it really is. So I'm grateful. That's my final piece.
Thank you to Allah. Well, guys, it's been fun. But she and I have a movie to watch.
Yes, we do.
So,
Bye.
ladies and gentlemen, before we end this episode, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to every episode I've done on YouTube, who's watched every episode on whatever streaming platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor. Thank you all so much for supporting. I appreciate it.
Wait, and let me put a challenge out for the viewers. If you're a real one, only if you're a real one, go ahead and go to your favorite episode, whether it was on YouTube, but more importantly, Anchor, because that's where all of them are. YouTube, it may be on YouTube, but if it's not, go to your favorite episode, and I want you by next week, today, so next Sunday, go ahead and screen record or just share your favorite episode on Instagram and give it a shout out, please and thank you, so he can get some more followers because he deserves it. He's amazing.
I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this at all.
But I didn't. But it moves me to do this. Yeah. So.
I do need the followers. I do need the streams as well. Literally, I'm literally over halfway to 1,000 streams. So
help get there, y'all. Come on now.
Yeah,
come on now.
Get them all.
This
and by the way,
your brother, our brother.
Season 2. If you all love this season 2 is going to be absolutely freaking amazing. Okay, the people that I have lined up. Word is bond to Allah. If you love season 1, you are absolutely going to adore season 2. Thank you to all the guests that have been on the episode. Such a long list. I'm going to try to remember everyone. Allende for all the episodes he's been on. All the episodes Allende has been on. Shout out to you. And Zinga for all the episodes she's been on. Khadija for all the episodes she's been on. Let's see who else. Sakina, Golden Child. D-Ro,
Luna Nora,
Blood,
Luna,
KO, Lukman. Definitely gotta shout the New World crew out. Asia, the Asia Minor on IG. I don't want to forget anyone. Who else? Anissa, Ace Enna of Ace Enna Collections. Ilyasa,
Luna
Agent
Alnora.
Rockwell, Luna Alnora, um, who else? Elohim the Anomaly, Brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad, and Brother Student
Our
Minister Gerald Muhammad.
regional Southern Minister, Southern Regional Minister.
Regional, who's going to be my minister in the next couple weeks.
Literally.
Oh, am I missing anyone? Am I missing anyone? I don't. Wait.
Hashim and Aaron.
Hashim, Aaron, Zuri, Alton, and Hashim was on there twice, actually.
Yeah.
Hashim was
and
on there
then
twice.
Don't forget Javi,
my boy Javi, my guy. Yes, thank you so much. My
Javi
sister,
and Brother
of course,
Tariq,
Amina, my sister and my mom. Thank you, Mom,
yes,
for being on the episode. I appreciate you.
Brother
Love
Tariq
you,
Cardiac.
Brother Tyreek Cardiac, Brother Jabril, the Black Medina, Sister Tynetta, Kukai. So many people. So many people. Let me see. I want to make sure I haven't left anyone out because it's literally so many people. I'm literally going to the episodes now just to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. Sakina from the other Sakina from my region. Both Sakinas from one from my region, and from your region. I think Golden Child already. Asia. I got Asia already. DJ Bakes and La Rule for the cooking episode. Yes. DJ Bakes and La Rule for the cooking episode. Thank you so much. Elijah LaFleur. I don't know if I mentioned you. I know I mentioned D-Ro. I mentioned Flood. I mentioned KL. Thank you as well. Brian, my guy Brian, Javi's friend. We all love wrestling. So yeah, we were all a part of that. I said Aaron already, right?
Yeah.
I said Aaron? Yes. Artistic Freedom, Amira, thank you so much. May the force always be with you, and keep up the good artwork. And I think that's everyone. And of course, thank you, Sabbath, for being a day one supporter. And of course, as you know, I love you. I've always loved you. I will always love you. And wow. Stay tuned for season 2. Stay tuned for merch. Stay tuned for the website. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kareem Talks. I am your host, Kareem. And remember, this is not goodbye. This is see you soon. Peace. See ya.